Well, good morning, morning. It's Natalie Garcia, your health and fitness coach, who's going to be walking you through today on the very basics of taking care of yourself physically and mentally, while also helping you to get more focused, more energetic, and more productive. As we all know, everything ties back together. Your biology, your physiology, your mindset, all those pieces have to be playing together in order for you to be the most productive on a daily basis. So that's why I wanted to help you build upon that foundation first of your body. Because if you can master your body physically and mentally, then you will be able to then perform at a higher level. And I think that a lot of times when you go to leadership trainings and go to essentially in most trainings, whether it is productivity, they start you with tactics and strategies on how to work through your planner, do time blocks, set up your schedule in certain ways. But rarely do they talk about your health and wellness, because here's the thing is if you are sleeping like crap, if you are eating like crap, doesn't matter how many strategies you put on your plate, you won't be as effective because you're not going to be performing at your best. Listen, this body right here that you have is the only body you will ever have. And so if you're not taking care of it, then there's no way you're going to be able to give that output that you're looking to give. And so that's why today I wanted to start with talking about your health, the health piece, in order for you to move forward in these next 5 days of the 5-day productivity challenge. So welcome to this group. I'm so excited to have each of you here. And I hope that as these small, short little videos are posted each day, that you take the time to not only watch it, but to take notes and also to pick and choose the ones that you're going to focus on. As I always say in my trainings and my webinars is, I'm going to throw a lot of information at you, but my recommendation is to take the pieces that make sense for you right now. Maybe there's areas that you're doing well in, but you need to improve in others. Focus on the ones that you need to improve on, right? You can only really focus on one thing at a time. And so if you take the time today to really dig deeper into the ones that really make sense for you to work on, then you're gonna be more effective rather than feeling overwhelmed. So again, today I'm gonna give you four tips, 4 tips to help you become more productive physically, and you choose which one you're gonna focus on, if it's 1 or 2, or 3, or even all 4 if you're willing to really challenge yourself. So let's jump right in talking about your morning routines, because these matter. This absolutely matters on how effective you're going to be the rest of the day. And so over the years, I've had to kind of learn what works for me, especially being a mom of 3 kids, having a full plate, business to run, being a nurse. For those of you that don't know, I'm a nurse as well. I've been a nurse for 7 years, almost 8 years. I'm in the military, so I've had to learn how to master my mornings so that I can get my mind in the right place. And so I want to share with you 4 things that I've done over the years to improve my mental health and so that I'm more focused. Number 1, of course, I'm going to talk about is nutrition. Nutrition is key. And I know you've heard this a million times. This is not new information. And I will say this over and over and over again. What's common sense isn't always common practice. So what I share with you today is maybe you're hearing it for like the 20th, 30th, 50th, 100th time, but maybe you haven't applied it yet. Maybe this is the moment for you to apply it. So when I talk about nutrition, I like to simplify it. I'm not going to give you a diet to follow, because everybody's body is very different from the other. And so what may work for me may not work for the other person. So I don't believe in diets because they don't work long term. What I do believe in is common sense. And what to me is common sense is our body needs whole-based foods, right? But even more to simplify that, right? Let's step back a little bit more, and let's talk about even simplifying that system even more. I shared this morning on starting with water. Right? Common sense stuff, but not always common practice. As a matter of fact, majority of people really stink at getting their water intake every single day. Good rule of thumb is for water intake is to be drinking half of your body weight in ounces. So if you were to do the math, 170 pounds, or let's say 160 pounds, half of that is 80. You're going to drink 80 ounces of water a day. So you got to do your math and figure out how many cups that is for you. Okay. So that's a good rule of thumb. a way for me to get that water intake in every day without having to think about it is, one, I always try to drink 8 to 12 ounces of water upon waking up. Within that first 30-minute window, a good rule of thumb is I have a big jug of water right next to my head, my bedstand, so that as soon as I put my foot on the ground, I'm grabbing it as I walk into the bathroom, and I chug it down. Then another rule of good rule of thumb is to drink 8 to 12 ounces of water 30 minutes before each meal. Make that a trigger for your body to realize, oh, okay, I'm getting ready to eat now. Okay. Sometimes, again, we tend to be snackers, grazers. And so all we do is graze on foods all day. And so this is a good way for you to kind of refocus your body again, to say, hey, my body's not meant to be eating all day. If you think about cavemen or back in the day, we ate after hunting and doing all the work. And so, we're not meant to be snackers or grazers all day. Our body is meant to take a break in between each meal. Our gut needs a break. If we're eating all day, then we're not allowing our gut to recuperate. And so that's why it's good to, leave a short window, 2 to 3 hour window in between each meal. And a good way to keep track of that, again, is one, maybe do a timer. Every 2 to 3 hours, you have a timer that goes off. And that's boom. Every 2 to 3 hours, the alarm goes off. Okay, I got to drink my water. Drink my water. 30 minutes later, I'm going to eat my food. Second thing that you want to do with nutrition is, after you drank your water, because hydration is absolutely important in helping you to control your hunger, control the cravings, and making sure that you are mentally focused. Because a lot of times people are dehydrated and don't realize why they have headaches, why they're not so focused, why they have that mental fog. A lot of times it's related to you not drinking enough water. So simple, but not many people follow that or think, oh, let me drink more water, right? So easy fix, simple tweak, right? Second thing I want to mention is, after drinking your water, start with your vegetables. Always start with vegetables. This is the hardest part for us to eat, right? We always grab the bread, we grab the cookies, we grab sometimes even the protein, but we forget about the vegetables. And so a good rule of thumb is as upon you finishing your water, within 30 minutes, start with vegetables. I don't care what vegetables you start with. Pick 2 to 3 of your favorite vegetables and just stick with that for the first week and figure out how to incorporate that in each of your meals, including your breakfast. Okay, I know this is the hardest meal of the day to add vegetables in. We're not used to eating vegetables so early in the morning, but most people struggle eating vegetables throughout their day. But if you start with vegetables in the morning, it's going to be much easier to remember to eat your vegetables, and to add the additional, vegetable servings you need. We're supposed to be eating about a pound of vegetables a day. That's a cup, 2 cups of vegetables per meal. I know it's a lot. And again, that's a small tweak that you can take in order to help you to become more productive again. One of my favorite ways to eat my vegetables in the morning is, of course, a shake. I add my spinach, my kale, or whatever veggies I want to add into my shake in the mornings with my protein powder, my superfoods, and that makes sure that I get that serving in the morning. So that's a good rule of thumb for nutrition. So next step, I'm going to erase these as I go so that way you can stay focused here, right? So next thing is, as your body moves, your brain grooves. I personally believe, this is just my belief, I think we do better by working out early in the morning. Now, I know some people hate it. They feel like they just can't do it because their body's not used to it. They prefer working out at night. And I mean, you can come with me with all the excuses. But what I'm going to challenge you to do is think a little differently. Like, maybe if you are used to doing it in the morning, great. But if you're not, or you haven't been moving your body at all, I want to tell you again, your productivity, your mindset, your energy, your motivation comes down to your physiology, your biology. So as you move your body, it increases the endorphins, it increases the hormones that are required for you to have energy and focus throughout your day. And so if you are starting with a 20-minute workout, it doesn't require much. A 20-minute session of moving your body, some HIIT training, some cardio, some strength training. it's gonna help you boost the energy you need throughout your day. And it's gonna help you have that boost of energy longer versus starting your day with just drinking a cup of coffee, maybe a muffin, loading up your body with sugar and caffeine, which then causes you to crash by 3 to 4 hours later because your glycemic index is just shooting up too high too fast. And so that's unfortunately like the common American diet and habits that they develop over the years. And so I want to help you, encourage you to shift that routine in the mornings. So start with your vegetables, drink your water, and move your body. So, and I'll talk a little bit about, timing, what time do I have to wake up to do all this stuff? And that's going to have something that's going to require a little tweaking again in your routines. Okay. So it's simple, right? You just got to move your body. I'm not going to specifically say what to do. But I will encourage you to bring variety to your routines. Don't just keep doing the same thing over and over again because your body also adapts and then doesn't, receive its full benefit from it as it should. So I will be sharing a sample workout tomorrow that you guys can do from home. It's only 30 minutes, so it should help you kind of at least kickstart this whole routine, right? The next thing that I recommend for morning routines is including some deep internal work. And why I talk about this specifically, and you probably don't think this has to do anything with health and fitness, but it does have to do with your mental health. Focusing on yourself and your purpose and your mission early on in the morning allows you to have almost a different perspective on your day. It pushes you and encourages you to show up differently versus waking up, going through the motions, and really losing motivation throughout your day. Because you're going through the motions. You're like, well, I have to be here. I have to make money. I have to pay bills. And there's no real purpose behind that, right? So, part of the deep internal work is really talking about or really focusing your personal development time. What are you feeding your mind with every morning? Are you, taking a break, a pause on your work, on your career early on in the morning so that you can think about and recalibrate yourself to your purpose every single morning. So, and I think this is kind of a conversation that required a whole other video and training, but I want you to realize, like, for me, what this looks like is prayer, is journaling. It's reading a book that feeds my mind and body, that helps me get motivated. So maybe a leadership book, a book on training myself on my business to improve myself, that has to do with my life goals. So that way I'm always growing. So I'm not stagnant. So I'm not, hitting a wall. Like for me, and I truly believe this, that for all of us, the greatest gift and our ability to find joy in life comes from always growing. The people that feel anxious all the time, that are depressed, are the ones that tend to be the ones that usually are not growing. They haven't set other goals. They haven't stretched themselves. They just are comfortable where they are. They're in their comfort zone. They don't want to do a little bit more work to figure out how they can level up their life. And so they stay stagnant and they're not happy, and then they're not motivated, and then they don't have energy, and then they're not productive. So that's why I believe finding something, a target that's going to help me stretch myself, that's always, and I'm not saying, you're not satisfied with life, but really we are all hungry for growth. And whether you believe it or not, like you being in the same position for 10 years with no real growth, that depletes you from your purpose and the energy and motivation. So if you're feeling that right now, even during a moment of crises, think of how you can focus on, how can I grow during this time? Where can my focus be? Last thing I want to mention is of course your sleep. And I know I talked about this in our webinar. For those of you that have attended my webinars, that talk about the productive leader. One of the big things that we forget to do is, we should be sleeping like we're getting paid for it. Because here's the thing is that a lot of times we put sleep at the bottom of our priority list because I'll sleep when I die, right? I grew up with a workaholic and he barely sleeps. He sleeps like 4 to 5 hours, my dad. And so, I grew up with that mentality, not realizing, oh my gosh, this is killing me little by little. And even though your body may adjust to it and you can survive on 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night, long term, there have been studies that have shown how your brain, the chemicals and how the shape of your brain changes with the lack of sleep over time. And it really does cause Alzheimer's. It does cause depression. It does cause more anxiety. It does reduce your ability to be resilient. Because listen, I'm in the military. I've been trained on sleep deprivation. Like, they train you to survive being sleep deprived. And I saw firsthand and I felt firsthand the effects it had on my body and my mind. Yes, we can do it temporarily, but long term, our bodies will be affected. And you can see that in our soldiers. There's a higher rate of PTSD. There's a higher rate of depression. There's a higher rate of inability to produce, right? There's a lot of soldiers out there that have been deployed multiple times with multiple situations where they didn't sleep well, and the effects were detrimental. They are higher rate for blood, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes. They tend to have addictions, whether it's alcohol or cigarettes, nicotine. So all those things, listen, whether you hear from me or from others, sleep is important. And so you got to make sure that you're getting the right amount of sleep every single day. I've talked a little bit about, what that looks like, and if you are interested, we can delve deeper into this topic and how to improve your sleep. But I did mention in my webinar, one of the books that I recommend is a book called Sleep Smarter by Sean Stevenson. If you are interested in you feel like you're struggling in that area specifically, go get that book on Amazon. It's an incredible resource. It walks you through step by step on how to improve your sleep in the long run. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick training on how to improve your morning routines, that first hour of your day. It doesn't have to be very long, although each of these things seem like, oh my gosh, it's gonna take too much. You can adjust each of these things. Like your nutrition doesn't really take much time, right? It's a little bit of 5-10 minute meal prepping for your day. The exercise can be 15-20 minutes. Your personal development time can be 10-15 minutes. When I kickstarted my morning routines, I only had like a 30-minute window. Now I've moved it to 2 hours, and I love my mornings. So you can baby step it and just build upon these basic routines so that you can start developing stronger morning routines and become more productive long term. So I hope this has helped you today. Comment below. I will share my blog down below in the comments. So for those of you that want to read a little bit more on the studies that I share in my blog about these specific topics on how to improve your morning routines, I'll share that for y'all so that you have an additional resource to be able to print or utilize as your notes if you didn't have time to do that today. So thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.